If you master this one concept, truly understand it, it will put you ahead of 99% of everyone around you. It's just a fact. So sometimes there's these key concepts that we need to really learn and understand and apply in practice. And once we do, once this insight and how to accurately use it truly fall into place, it's like a world that's unlocks itself to us, right? Kind of selling it hard here, right? As to why you should really tune into this and listen. So here's the concept. You are by nature and design a bridge builder. It's all you do all day long, every day long. Every human being on this planet, that's what they do. They build bridges all the fucking time. So let me explain. Let's explore it. Let's try to explore what this really means. So every human being has basically three thoughts top of their mind all the time, right? The current situation that they're in, what they're trying to escape from, right? Move away from. Then they think about what they're trying to arrive at or move towards, right? The outcome that they're looking for, right? The beneficial new situation that they want to grow and evolve and move towards or end up in ultimately, right? Also the type of person that they want to become. And then how they can get it. How do they solve for this? How do they get there, right? So it's basically what we don't want, what we want, and how to get it, right? That's all we think about 24/7. Now those two reference points where what we're trying to escape from, what we're trying to arrive at, that leaves a gap that we're trying to bridge all the time. Trying to go from point A to point B, right? We're trying to bridge the gap. To give you a couple of practical examples, you want to lose weight. So you're moving from overweight to slim and fit, and then there's a gap between those two states. And you're trying to bridge that gap with skills, knowledge, training, exercise, diet, behavioral change, new habits, so on and so forth, right? Very simple. It's building a bridge between those two states. Business development. I do this all day long as a coaching consultant. What I'm basically doing is I'm defining, mapping out, calibrating, building, helping to build bridges. As a coaching consultant, whether that's in business development or development of new personal traits, behaviors, self-development, you are a bridge engineer. That's what you do. You go in, you collaboratively with your client, you accurately diagnose and identify the current state, the future desired state, the gap between those two states, right? What people want to escape from, what they want to arrive at. And then you have the gap, and then you reverse engineer and map out a bridge, right? That's the first step. You map out the bridge, the milestones, or at least some key starting points that you can get to, right? And then you help them cross that bridge. That's all it is, right? And you can, like if you have a long-term final outcome vision goal that's too far ahead, so you don't quite know the road ahead, you just break it down to a smaller bridge. You take a milestone, make that the goal, you break it down and bridge it. And in general, everything can be broken down into 4 key steps or core components, 4 concepts that you need to master, 4 steps that you need to move through. And then those steps can be broken down into 4 again. So you can just basically keep breaking things down into smaller and smaller units or parts until you have a 4-step bridge, right? So, and each component and aspect of a business, whether that be a marketing funnel, a sales pipeline, a email campaign, like pieces of content on social media, it's a bridge. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm building a bridge between your current level of understanding and a more beneficial level of understanding of this core concept. And I'm breaking it down to 4, right? What is a bridge? How do you use it? You know, practical application. What are the key factors and variables that you need to be aware of? What will most likely happen once you use it, right? So I'm trying to give you the knowledge and information you need so you clearly understand your current situation, what your options and possibilities are. I'm trying to then bridge that gap to a new understanding so you can see your potential and possibilities. And then we're trying to identify how we can leverage this new knowledge to make you capable and competent by giving you examples, by explaining and deep diving into things. That's all it is. I'm building a bridge of your current understanding to a new level where you have new insights and perspectives that you can then use for practical application. I'm building a bridge, right? If you make content for your audience, right, you are building bridges, right? Maybe between You give them a new insight and perspective. That could be a bridge, just a new insight and perspective. You build it. They have a current understanding or perspective, insight into things. And you're building a new one through a bridge to a new level of insight and perspective that they can then use, right? You might also give them a step-by-step procedure, right? Of how to do things so they can get a new beneficial result in their life. If you're building a personal brand, you're just building a bridge between you and your follower audience to build a know, like, and trust factor, right? You're building a bridge between you and that other person so that becomes a connection. You're building a bridge. That's all you do, all day long. And so you can stack these bridges is another core concept I want to quickly go over. So basically, you can build a bridge, you can stack bridges, right? If you break like one major concept down for people so it becomes really useful, you stack the bridges. The first bridge is between their current understanding and where you want to take them, so they have the necessary background knowledge and the necessary context and understanding and clarity on what it is they want to dive into. That's basically what it is, a what it is bridge, right? Then you want to explain why it's important to them, right? So you're building a bridge between the current assessment of the situation and a new one, where they acknowledge why something is important, right? And why they should do it and take action on it. You are lowering the threshold for them to take action. You are creating a little bit of sense of urgency that they need to move on this. You are building a bridge for why they should do something. You're giving them the reasons, the motivations for why they should do it by showing them basically what will happen if they do not take action and what will happen if they do take action, right? If they do not take action, that's the current state that they're trying to escape from. If they do take action, that's the ideal outcome that they want to arrive at, and then there's a bridge, right? So why it's important, that's a bridge that moves people forward, right? Then what it is, the steps, how to do it. This is basically just a bridge between not being able to do something and then having the knowledge and broken down steps and description of how to do something through actions, behavior, implementation, input, to get to where it is they want to go, to get a result, right? It's just a bridge between not being able to do something and then the know-how to do something. It's a recipe. It is a systematic way of doing things. It's a procedure that you're mapping out, a sequence of steps or events that people need to go through to get a result. You're building a bridge, right? That's all it is. Then you basically want to stack another bridge on top of that, which is you want to overcome their self-limiting beliefs, their constraints, their objections, the things that are holding them back from doing this. And you're just building a bridge through metaphors and analogies so they can clearly understand things. And so you reframe their perspective and their insight and also their emotions around things so they take action, so they can remove that constraint that's holding them back, that friction and resistance. You're building a bridge, right? Russell Brunson has a very famous one, which is a kind of like bridge. So whenever you want to explain a very hard concept or a new concept to people and you want to give a metaphor or an analogy, you just say, well, it's kind of like whatever. So this thing over here is kind of like, and then through that very simple comparison, you're building a bridge between their current level of understanding and the new one, right? And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm basically telling you that everything is kind of like a bridge. See the point? Everything is bridges. There's nothing else. Like the concept of a sales funnel. The funnel concept is a very good metaphor for the funnel, where things narrows in, for the stages people go through, like a visual representation, understanding how you have a mass out up here, some funnel down, and you have end result. But the process behind that funnel is a bridge. If you take that person that goes from the top of the funnel, right, becoming aware, moving into your sales or ecosystem, desiring and getting interest in whatever it is that you're selling or providing, then you build the know, like, and trust factor. They consume your content, they start to understand things, and they get to the point and the timing in their life where they're ready to take action and they convert and becomes a buyer. If you have someone in that funnel from the top to the bottom and they convert, it's a bridge. The process they go through from start to finish is a bridge. You're bridging them in awareness, in desires, in their perspective and insight around what could be a possible solution. You're teaching, training, educating them to the point where they're ready to take action. You're building a bridge, right? The same thing with a pipeline, right? Marketing funnel is inbound. You attract people. They go through your ecosystem. It's one way of viewing it. A pipeline is where you reach out to people primarily, pull them in, and then you take them through stages. You're bridging them, right? You acquire a customer, right? What do? You just send them up a value ladder. And so each step on that value ladder, well, ladder is a very important concept. We'll dive into that another day. But each of those steps on that value ladder is basically you just bridging them between an undesired state and a desired state, and they keep ascending up your value ladder. This value ladder should correspond to their ambition line, which is where they want to go in life. So the value ladder is just the milestones on a very big bridge of a very big outcome. And then the individual steps are small bridges that you provide for them so they can get to where it is they want to go. It's all bridges, man. Like even your personal development, when you're trying to grow or expand or evolve your mindset, you're bridging parts of yourself, of your mindset into a new state. You're building bridges all the fucking time. As a coach and consultant, when you're on a call with a client and you're trying to map out the path for them, right? This is what I do. I always need to know what's their current state. What are they trying to escape from? The pain points, their problems. I need to give them and myself clarity on it. And then I need to know exactly where, so I can see like the potential, the key levers we can move, the constraints that's holding them back, all that good stuff. Let's not dive too deep into that because that's basically an hour-long video in and by itself. And then I need to find out where it is they want to go, right? Where do they want to arrive at? The ideal outcome. And then you build a bridge between those states by reverse engineering the ideal outcome and connect it to their current state, which also means that you have the ideal outcome in mind, and then you reverse engineer, and you have to make those two ends meet back to their current state, which means that it needs to be aligned with their current resources, their potential, their options, their opportunities. That needs to link into their behavior, how they perceive things, their current level of understanding, their knowledge, the system structures that they have in place, their business model. And then that ultimately lead to the challenges in the marketplace. And so you build out a bridge, right? And then you reverse engineer these milestones and you take them through this process. So when you're acting as a coach and consulting or any type of knowledge worker or expert that's helping people get a beneficial outcome or a result, all you're doing is you're mapping out a bridge and then you're helping them cross that bridge. That's all it is. It's bridges. Everything is a bridge. So, and you can kind of elaborate on this yourself. But once you have this metaphor or this analogy clearly in your head, and you start to view everything from the perspective that it is a bridge, right? And you can stack bridges, you can break them down, the milestones into four. Everything can be broken down into a small 4-step bridge, a 4-milestone bridge. It can also be like a 4-concept. What 4 concepts did you know to understand clearly and be able to use in practice to get a result? You can map everything down into a 4-step bridge that gets you from point A to point B. Now, if you don't think you can do it, it's just because you haven't broken it down to a small enough bridge. And if you want to get a big overall outcome or results, then you stack these bridges, these major bridges broken down into smaller bridges, you stack them. So there will be a behavioral bridge that you need to cross. There will be a skills bridge that you need to cross, a knowledge bridge that you need to cross to get to where it is you want to go. There will be, it could be like the business model, the pipeline, marketing ecosystem, the different components, the sales assets, how you sell, how you attract clients and generate leads. It could be an inbound bridge, it could be an outbound bridge, it could be an email newsletter bridge, which is just an email flow that bridges someone from point A to point B. Everything is a bridge. So I hope you found this valuable, this insight and perspective, and that you will apply it in your life, because once you clearly start to see things from this perspective, it will allow you to move forward very, very quickly because you have a mental framework for how to clearly define, assess things, to understand them, and then to bridge or map out a path from point A to point B, from where it is you are to where it is you want to go. This is the process behind it. And it's infinitely repeatable across all domains, right? It's a skeleton key from getting you to point A to point B once you really start to master this. So yeah, build bridges, man. Build bridges and cross them. That's it. That's all there really is to it. As a coach, as a consultant, as whatever it is that you do in your area of expertise, whatever that area of expertise is, you are a bridge builder by nature. So if you like to work with me, soft pitch here, I'm building a bridge between you and me. If you like to work with me, you can reach out in DMs. You can join my free Facebook group, if that link is down below, and apply to work together with me. Just reach out, man. Let's be normal human beings and have a conversation about how we can build your bridge, right? Because ultimately, purpose of life is you, Y-O-U, your opportunity, unique in life. You have a unique opportunity in life, regardless of who you are, where you're currently at. There will always be a unique opportunity to you, and there will always be a bridge that you want to cross, right? So if you want some help with building that bridge, mapping that bridge out first and foremost, giving you the plan for that bridge, how to cross it, and then perhaps some help with crossing it, then reach out, man. Let's have a conversation about it. Let's build a bridge between you and I and actually connect. See what we can do together. This is Casper LSK. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.